All right, hello YouTube. So we're back on the Grease Goblins channel. We're actually gonna be doing a rankings, a little different. I've usually been doing theory videos, predictions for the next two books. But this one I wanted to rank the Game of Thrones seasons. So if you want to see more content like this, like I could do tier lists or ranking my favorite characters, let me know. Also subscribe for more of this type of content. We have been doing Game of Thrones / Song of Ice and Fire videos every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. I'm actually gonna probably bump that up, seeing as though the other person that I run this channel with is not gonna be able to record as much, so I want to pump out more content on this channel. So actually might be uploading on Friday as well, same time. So yeah, let's get into it. So number 8, I don't think this is a surprise to anybody that is watching this video. Season 8. Season 8's just if you guys want to see me do an entire breakdown of season 8 and why I hate season 8, I could. I'm just going to keep it simple. The writing is at its peak of just awful. There are so many things I hate about this season. The writing, like I said, is terrible. Where most of the characters end up is garbage. Season 8 just is the epitome of not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones used to be about consequences, your decisions matter. Season 8, everybody has plot armor, nothing makes sense, everything's rushed, there's no development for characters, they pretty much destroy every character in Season 8, besides maybe Theon. I think Theon's like the only character that I really feel like kind of had a satisfying end, and even then, I feel like it wasn't, I don't know, but yeah, if you guys want to see me do a breakdown of Season 8, I can, but yeah, I could go on for an hour, maybe 2 hours, just talking about how bad Season 8 is. Coming in at number 7, Season 7. So you're going to notice a trend at the beginning of this list, because as the show went on, the worse it got. Episode of Beyond the Wall quite possibly is maybe the stupidest episode of the entire show. That's controversial because Season 8 is bad pretty much every episode as well. The whole plan and premise to go beyond the wall to bring a white to show to Cersei in hopes that Cersei will help them, which is somebody that you can't trust. Tyrion should know this better than anybody. And then they go over the wall and nobody dies besides Thoros. It doesn't make any sense. Also, if they wanted a white, why didn't Daenerys just take her dragon, pick one up, and leave? Also, Gendry apparently is now a great runner. I don't know. I could go deep into that episode. That episode was garbage. The following episode is it's even worse. None of it makes any sense. The entire Winterfell plotline is garbage. Littlefinger, I don't know how they thought that was a good death scene, and how Littlefinger goes out like a little bitch. I just don't get it. There's so much wrong with season 7. It was where I feel like the writing and how bad the show is becoming really. It really. Well, I'm not gonna say started because it started in season 5, but where it really it was just obvious. It was obvious that they didn't know how to finish the show. They didn't know how to do anything, and it's where I lost kind of my trust in their writing. But yeah. So the next one I think is going to be a little controversial. So at number 6, I do have season 6. Now, a lot of people probably would put season 5 here. But I still think season 5 is still kind of Game of Thrones. Season 6 just doesn't feel like it. Season 6, yes, the Battle of the Bastards. It's a stunning episode. It is really nice to look at. It's kind of realistic, as in the bloody, people, struggling to breathe. It's cool to watch. John's plot armor, massive plot armor in this episode, just completely takes me out of it. Okay, the Bells episode, I think that's what is it called? The Bells episode? I don't know. The episode, the finale where Cersei blows up the Sept. It's good. I do like it. My problem is there's no repercussions to her doing this. We had a scene literally in that season that says, alone we're nothing. This is what the High Sparrow says. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he says, alone we are nothing, but together we can bring down. I think he says a dynasty, maybe, or an empire or something like that. Doesn't seem like it. They killed like what, maybe 50 crows and or sparrows, sorry, and they're just never heard of again. It's part of the bad writing that goes into season 7 as well. Season 6 also is a lot of filler. I don't know if anybody notices this, but like earlier on the episodes, it's a lot of filler, a lot of things that are just like very boring and slow, and it builds up to those last 3 episodes. The hold the door moment is nice, but I don't know. I just don't think it does enough for me. Season 6 just has a lot of plot armor. It's a lot of plot armor, and it's the beginning of characters feeling like they're invincible. Jon Snow also comes back in this season after 2 episodes of being dead. Wasn't really a surprise. It was pretty obvious he was coming back. I mean, even when I was first getting into watching Game of Thrones, like consistently, even I knew he was coming back. Like I hadn't read the theories or anything. It's like just made too much sense. So yeah, going into season 5. So season 5 is number 5. As you can tell, it's just a downward cycle. But season 5, it still felt like Game of Thrones to me, where like your decisions mattered. I really liked that the Cersei stuff happened, but again, book stuff because they still had stuff to go on the books. Season 5, I think, is a little higher than season 6 just because I don't feel like the plot armor is just in your face, in front of you, and it's because for the majority it's coming from the book still. Some of the stuff they drop, like the Dornish stuff, which was so disappointing. In the books, the Dornish plotline is so much more interesting. It's actually really cool to read. The show, it's just awful. It's just terrible. The dialogue in anything with the Dornish stuff is terrible. Just seemed like they didn't know what to do with Jaime because they didn't bring Lady Stoneheart into it. So they just kind of sent him to Dorne for some reason with Bronn, and they just had the little like buddy cop thing. I no idea what they were doing with that. The worst part about season 5 is the way Stannis goes out. Ugh, it's just bad. It's just bad. Season 5 though gets carried by Hardhome, one of the best episodes in the show. I really like Jon trying to basically be in charge of the Watch and just seeing his downfall. I thought that was actually really good. And I also like Daenerys trying to rule Meereen as well. I really liked a lot of those things. I liked it in the books, and I think they did a pretty good job in the show as well. Also liked the fighting pit scene. I think they actually did a lot better on the fighting pit scene, where basically Daenerys takes off on the dragon than they did in the books. You guys can let me know on that one. I like it on the show. I think they did a decent job with it. I'm trying to remember, is this the season Barristan dies? I'm gonna do some research real quick and then I will cut back, but let me make sure. Yes, Barristan died in season 5. Was a awful decision, one of the worst decisions they made. Along with I think how they killed Stannis. As you guys didn't, you might know, you might not know. Stannis is my favorite character in A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones. I love his plot line. I love like his moral dilemmas. I love him as a character. Stannis the Manus all the way. But yeah, another really bad thing they did with Barristan, they should have kept him alive. It would have made maybe the turn to the Mad Queen way more like easier to do later on in the series if that's the way they were gonna go, which they ended up doing that. But season 5, there were a lot of good things I liked about it. Like the highs were high. Like I liked Jon dying, because when I had actually watched the show, I didn't know it was gonna happen. So that was really good. It kind of felt like we were still in Game of Thrones. Like people could die. It felt that way. Season 6 changed that for me. Season 7 definitely changed that for me. And by season 8, I had very low expectations. Getting to the top 4, we actually do switch up. Kind of the top 4. You know, we've been going 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 4, we have season 1. Now, that might get a little bit of hate. I do like season 1. And I think season 1 is a perfect introductory season. With how much they had to, build in the world and the characters and everything they had to do, they did a fantastic job. But compared to the 3 seasons above it, it just it's not as good just because there's a lot of things where they have to explain things and how things happen. But season 1 is so good. There are not a lot of things I have to complain about in season 1. I think the next 4 is really just personal preference for me, because I think they're all really good. I think they're all really good. I think season 1 again just is held back a little bit because of how much they have to explain and how much they have to world build. But again, very good season. Just a great way to introduce the series and get people addicted with the Ned twist. It's just not expected because of what we've been used to. I remember when I watched season 1, I was someone that has watched the show before the books. I've since then read the books 2 or 3 times. The books are, by the way, way better than the show. Like, even talking like the first 4 seasons of the show compared to like the first 5 books, books are better. Just want to clarify that. If you haven't read the books, please do. They are fantastic. Um, but yeah, the books are not books. Season 1 does a great job. And into my number 3. So my number 3, we're going actually back to the numbers, is going to be season 3. Season 3 is really, really good. It deals with like the aftermath of the Stannis' attack. And we see kind of like continued flaws of Robb Stark, just making mistake after mistake after mistake, or them coming back to bite him. And I also have a little personal bias. So a lot of people probably would have had season 3 at number 4. My favorite episode of all time is The Reigns of Castamere. It is so well done. I think without being able to be in our character's thoughts, the best it could have possibly been done. Um, it still is heartbreaking to watch because at the time Robb Stark was my favorite character. Now that I've like watched the books more, or not watched, I keep saying that, watched the show more and like read the books, I see Robb's like flaws and stuff, and like he kind of makes some stupid mistakes, but that episode is so good. It helps carry this season so much because there are a lot of points in the uh earlier episodes that are just kind of like it's a little bit of filler, but it's still good. You get some back and forth with a lot of good characters and stuff. But season 3, personally, is only at number 3 because of that Reigns of Castamere episode. I think it is so good. It's the best episode, in my opinion, of the show. Also, want to go another reference to the books. Such a good book. That is one of the best chapters I ever written. The Red Wedding in the books does such a good job of just putting you on an emotional roller coaster, being heartbreaking. But yeah, enough with that. On to number 2. So I know this one's gonna be controversial as well. So roast me in the comments. Number 2 is going to be season 4. I think season 4 is perfect. It's not number 1, but it's perfect because I have a personal bias for number 1 as well. But no, season 4, everything in King's Landing is fantastic. We get Oberyn in this season, we get Joffrey's death, get the Tywin Tyrion back and forth, get Cersei losing her mind. Like, everything in King's Landing is so good. And then you hop over to the Wall, you hop into the north, you've got Battle for the Wall, fantastic. You've got the Ygritte Jon stuff that we've been having like since like season 3, fantastic. Everything about this season, there's not a bad part of this. I genuinely think season 4 is perfect, except for one key thing: not having the Jaime and Tyrion plot point that is in the books, where Jaime's like says about his first wife Tysha or whatever. Um, that to me destroyed Tyrion's character arc in later seasons. Not being included. I think it's the only flaw of season. Besides that, season 4 is fantastic, and so that leads to my number 1. So my number 1 favorite season of Game of Thrones is season 2. Now, I will sit here and say, if we're looking at just episode to episode, if I didn't have a like personal bias, because I know for most people season 4 would be the best season. I love season 2 because I love the War of the Five Kings atmosphere. I also like the season the best because it's when Stannis is kind of at his highest. We never see him really get back to that point ever again, and I love Stannis' character. And it's when we get introduced to them with Stannis and Davos. We have Robb doing his thing, Tywin doing his thing. It's Tyrion's best season as a character, maybe season 4, but I would say season 2. You really start to see him play the political game, and it's really, really fun to watch Tyrion. Um, the wall stuff is pretty good as well when they go beyond the wall in this season. Really good, really good. I love season 2. Will forever hold a special place in my heart. Um, and for me, also has one of, I'd probably say, my favorite battle, Battle of the Blackwater. Um, just because I love the atmosphere. I love the this is the hardest thing because I'm gonna reference when I first watched this episode. It's so difficult because I'm sitting here like Tyrion is a great character. I love Tyrion, but I hate everybody else that's on his side, besides maybe Bronn or like the Hound. But like I want to see them lose, but I don't want Tyrion to die because I did like Stannis and I do like Davos, so I wanted them to win. But it is an incredible episode. It's incredible seeing, the Renly stuff. It's really cool seeing how Littlefinger plays the game in this season as well, bringing the Tyrells and the Lannisters together, improving his status even more. It's just a fantastic season. In general, you have some of the most iconic scenes with Charles Dance or Tywin and Arya. Fantastic scenes. Them doing that instead of Roose was so much better. It's one of the best things the show ever did. So yeah, that is my top 10. Let me know in the comments what's your guys' top 10. Let me know what you think's wrong about mine. Again, this is personal opinion. I'm not saying like overall the best, because if I was going like the best, taking on any personal bias or any attachments I have to any of the episodes or seasons, I'd probably say 4. I'd probably say 4, 2, 1, 3, and then 5. Yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see me do more videos like this, please let me know. I want to say at the end of this video, thank you for all the support you guys have been giving on these type videos, the Song of Ice and Fire videos, Game of Thrones videos, whichever. We really do appreciate it. We're going to try to keep posting content for you guys. Yeah, we will see you next week. Probably another video on Friday. Let me know if you got any theories or characters you want me to do. Yeah, next one.